Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you a few of the best free marketing tools you can use for your website, for your YouTube channel, whatever you're trying to build on the internet. And one of them is called Canva.com. It's one of the best places to do your graphic design work without having to hire somebody. And what you can do is go to Canva and you'll notice all sorts of templates. So if you need a logo, you can do that. If you need an infographic for something like Pinterest, you can do that. If you want to create some sort of presentation, maybe for the background of your video, business cards, slideshows, Instagram, they have pretty much anything you could possibly need. And for instance, I use the YouTube thumbnail templates a lot. So you can go to the YouTube thumbnail section and they have all sorts of high quality thumbnail examples that you can use, whether you have the free or the pro version. And you can just pick one, you can edit some things out, you can drag and drop images of your own and upload them directly. You can change the background, change the text, and you can do some pretty high quality graphic design work yourself in just a few minutes, and it's completely free to get started. So definitely use Canva, especially if you're using images a lot in, say, social media, blog posts, YouTube, things like that. Another thing you can do is look at your headlines and analyze whether they're good or not. So you can go to coschedule.com/headline-analyzer, and this is a tool you can use to analyze how strong of a headline you have if you're trying to figure out whether your title would do well or not. And so it helps you combine different types of words. You have power words, you have emotional words, you have things like how-to titles, you have list titles, questions. There's a lot of different types of titles out there. You may not know a lot about that, but instead of having somebody who specializes in this, you can do this yourself with the Analyze Now button. So you can copy and paste your title here, click Analyze Now, and then once you do this, you'll get an overall headline score. So it'll tell you what types of words and language you're using, and then it'll give you an overall headline score, and it'll give you a few suggestions to make this stronger, whether it's too wordy, whether it's too short, whether it doesn't have, enough of a emotional context to it or not, whether it has a negative or a positive emotion with it. Like this one's pretty neutral, which you want to go for like a strong positive title usually. And it'll also show you what it'll look like in Google search results, whether it'll show the whole thing or not. If it's too long, you'll have a few dots at the end and it won't show the whole headline. And it'll even tell you what it looks like in an email. So it really helps you out with your titles for, say, YouTube channels, for your videos, for your blog post, or maybe even your podcast titles. Another one I like to use is called VidIQ. VidIQ is a free or paid tool you can use, especially if you are a YouTuber, and it's endorsed, as you can see, by a lot of pretty well-known YouTubers with, as many as 500,000 or more subscribers. And it's a tool that helps you analyze your competition better. It helps you automate some things better. It also has a Chrome store or a Chrome extension feature that you can get for free as well. And when you sign in with your account using the Chrome extension, you can go to YouTube and say, look at search results and find all sorts of extra data with this. So let's say I typed in like internet marketing just to see like if I wanted to rank a video related to internet marketing, what would I need to do here? So you could scroll down a little bit and it'll tell you right here on the right side on VidIQ's sidebar here. Once you have the extension installed and you're signed in, then it'll tell you like what the highest video looks like, what its numbers are, how much volume there is for this keyword. So if you're trying to rank things, if you're trying to do the SEO route when it comes to YouTube, you need high volume and low competition as much as possible. So that'll help you do well on YouTube. Same thing for blogging and stuff like that, but VidIQ is specifically for YouTube. So this is a pretty good keyword because you have lots of volume. That means a lot of people search for this, and then the competition is low. So you should have a chance if you, of course, have a channel related to marketing. So, and then you see one of my videos is up here in the top 3 or 4 search results for internet marketing, even though I did it like 3 years ago. So it's a tool that really helps you. I've used it quite a bit myself, And one that's also similar to this is called TubeBuddy. So TubeBuddy is very similar to VidIQ, but you can use them together. There are certain functions that one has over the other that is best if you just use both. So for instance, if I looked at search results, you see a lot of stuff for vidIQ on the side here, but you also have the TubeBuddy Explorer on the right side. So you can see different tags. They'll have tag suggestions when you're making videos and uploading them. They'll help you even create a thumbnail template if you want to do that. If you have a certain style of thumbnail, you can use the TubeBuddy templates and things like that. So you can see that it kind of goes right there, that little TubeBuddy symbol, and then you see the vidIQ symbol. So they both give you different options here. They give you like cards. If you have like a template where you want to automate the types of cards you use for a certain video category, you can do that. You can A/B split test your videos. You can do a lot of different things with just these two free tools. Another one is Buffer. This is a fairly straightforward and simple tool that's really helpful if you have a lot of social media posts and a lot of different accounts. So if you want to schedule your social media posts to go out when traffic is highest, when your niche has the most users online, like for instance, if you're a business-to-business type of company, then you might want to tweet out during business hours. Or if you're more of an entertainment company, you might want to tweet out during the weekend or after people are coming home from work or school. So things like that. It's hard to constantly be online and do everything in real time on Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and things like that. So you can use something like Buffer to automate this. And what it will do is allow you to create a schedule. It'll even help you find sources for content, like RSS feeds can be built in there. You might like automatically want to retweet something from a certain source or something like that. Or you can automatically share things to Buffer using certain social media tools. And you can do that with the free version. Obviously, you will be limited as far as how many posts you can do per day or per week with the free version, but it is still a very helpful tool. And if you're going to use the free version, I recommend kind of combining Hootsuite and Buffer, kind of like you combine TubeBuddy and vidIQ. Of course, they both have paid versions that are much better and have more features, but if you're just starting out, and you don't have a lot of users that are following you yet, then you can try Hootsuite combined with Buffer to automate your feeds. And what's one kind of thing I really like about Hootsuite that Buffer doesn't have is they have a place where you can see multiple feeds on one page. So like right here, you'll have your Twitter feed on the left. In the middle, you might have your Pinterest feed, and on the right you might have your Facebook feed. So you can look at all those, especially if you're trying to research things for maybe retweeting or sharing or liking or just getting ideas for content. That's kind of a cool extra feature that they have. Another thing you can do is use Google Analytics. This is pretty much essential if you are someone who has a blog. So if you have any kind of blog, whether it's WordPress or something else, Google Analytics will help you figure out what kind of... So another tool you should be using if you have a blog is Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a tool that will really help you as far as figuring out how much traffic you're getting, how much is coming from search, what your top performing blog posts are so you can duplicate that in the future, and what other sources of traffic you're getting outside of, say, search results. So like how much is coming from different social media sites, how many people are searching directly for your website, things like that. It just helps you look at all the data of your blog and then build on what works and then cut out what doesn't. And you can also do things like you can track how many sales you're getting by having certain landing pages for like post-sale processes and things like that. So you have a lot of different tools, and it's all free when you use Google Analytics, and you can have it with, say, a plugin with your WordPress site, and it will track all your data. You'll also get to see bounce rate, pages per session, how long people spend on your site, and it just helps you build a stronger blog. Another thing you should do is make your blog post, for instance, more suitable for people of different reading levels. So this will help you be able to appeal to a wider audience, because you will be able to, say, have people of all sorts of reading levels looking at your content. This is also something that can be helpful if you have a lot of people internationally that read your blog, which is something that I have with mine. And a lot of these people, English is not their primary language, and my blog is primarily in English. So if I'm using all these big random words that only people who have studied English their whole life would know, it kind of makes blog posts harder to understand for people who maybe don't have English as their primary language or are still learning it. So things like that, making it suitable for lots of reading levels and making it suitable for people who have whatever primary language your blog is in. Maybe they're still learning that language. It helps with all of that. So it also helps with ranking in some cases. It's supposed to be like a small indicator in the long list of indicators for ranking in search results on Google, because readability is a big part of, quality. So the Flesch-Kincaid test is one you can do. You can go to webfx.com/tools and look at the readable Flesch-Kincaid test and just test readability. Go to a specific page, and then you can go from there. And it'll give you an idea of how good it is. There are also plugins that do this as well. And you can just type in the URL, calculate the readability, and you can also get something like the Yoast SEO plugin for free or something like that. And they'll also tell you a little bit about, say, your readability and give you maybe like a letter grade or something like that. So just make sure your blog and your written content is very easily readable by lots of different people. So another thing you need to know, especially if you have a website, is your speed. The faster you load, the better you will probably rank in Google search results. So for instance, when I switched to a new hosting program after I started getting traffic and getting, sales and income coming in from my blog, I switched to a more premium web hosting company like WP Engine, which is built specifically for WordPress. So it makes the website faster just by having their hosting, which is built specifically for that. So things like that can actually add up a lot. You can also do a lot of things yourself. You can get certain plugins that will do a lot of these things for you. But first you have to actually test and know what your speed is. So you can go to tools.pingdom.com. You can test from all the different parts of the world to see how fast your website is. Just put in your URL and then click Start Test. And once you do that, you'll end up on a page that looks like this. So I just used youtube.com as an example. Performance grade, they got a C. Page size, request, load time. You're trying to minimize your load time as much as you possibly can. The other stuff is just indicators that you can work on to improve that load time and therefore rank higher in search results, therefore get more traffic, and therefore get more income from your blog. So you look at improved page performance. It'll have drop downs for each section here. So they get an A in a few things, they get a C in a few things, and then the E's and F's, those are the things they could really improve on. Now obviously YouTube is it's like the second largest website in the world, so they probably don't care that much about this because they are specifically trying to get sales for their products like YouTube Red and YouTube TV, and they're trying to host millions or billions of videos on there. So some of these things they're probably not worried about, but if you just have like a small blog and you're just trying to improve your search results and your quality, your user friendliness, then you might want to optimize as many of these as possible to make your load time better. Another thing you can do, especially if you have a blog, is build backlinks. Backlink building is something that has always been one of the top ways to improve your search results if you are going for SEO. Now, if you're not doing a lot of ads, which I usually don't talk a lot about with this channel, I talk more about organic internet marketing without ads. Broken link checking is a great way to reach out to people, help them out, and they might give you a backlink for your help. So getting backlinks is not an easy thing to do. Like for instance, people email me all the time trying to get me to replace something on a blog post with their link, and it's just a lot of times they don't really offer me anything in return, and I get thousands of these types of emails all the time. So it's hard for website owners like me to actually pay attention to all these emails. Now if you tell me that I have a broken link, I might be more likely to read that email, go fix the link, because broken links are not good for search. They're not good for quality. They're not good for the user experience. So if you let somebody know that they have a broken link by using the broken link check on websites that you not only own, but people that have similar websites in the same niche, you can use these to reach out to people, tell them, hey, I found this broken link here. I have something that's actually even better. You know, if you want to link to me, great. If not, I understand. But either way, I'm helping you out. I'm doing you a solid by telling you you have a broken link here on this page. So it's a great way to kind of email somebody who may not know who you are yet and possibly get a backlink by helping them out by pointing out a broken link and then giving them your link that they can replace it with if they like it. So that's a way to get backlinks, and is a free tool to find opportunities for getting backlinks. Another thing you can do is automate as many things as possible. So for instance, if you publish a YouTube video, if you publish a blog post, one of the things that can take the most time is syndicating that and sharing it on all your social media platforms and things like that. So like I mentioned Buffer and Hootsuite earlier, these are a few things that you can do to automate things. But this tool called IFTTT, which stands for if this, then that, you can go to ifttt.com and create all sorts of things to improve not only your internet marketing, but even if you want to automate your home office and make it like a smart office, or make your home a smart home, or all kinds of stuff. It works with Google Assistant. It works with pretty much any major social media platform. So for instance, if I create an app that has IFTT automatically share a tweet with a YouTube video as soon as it's uploaded, I connect my two accounts. I connect my YouTube account, I connect my Twitter account, and it will automatically tweet a link to my new YouTube video as soon as it is published on my channel. So that's one less thing I have to do. I can save a little bit of time and automate my marketing a little more. So just things like that. Automate as many things as you can without sacrificing quality, of course, and IFTTT can help you with that. Now, another one that's very similar to IFTTT is Zapier. You can go to zapier.com. They have certain things that work better with them than IFTTT. Like for instance, I wanted to automate some things with Reddit. Reddit worked better with Zapier than it did with IFTTT, but IFTTT probably has things that work better than it does with Zapier. So it's another type of thing where you can pair up these free tools, like you pair up via VidIQ and TubeBuddy. You can pair up Hootsuite and Buffer. You can pair up Zapier and IFTTT and get a lot more use out of them because they're similar services without having to pay for the pro version right away until you really need it. So Zapier, again, great place to automate a lot of your marketing. And one thing you can do when you sign in, you can look and see different types of apps that you can create. You can use email, you can do LinkedIn, Pinterest, Reddit, all sorts of stuff. They even have like Flickr photos. You can combine the different apps you want to market your brand on and do it automatically between those two tools. So last but not least, you have something like Sumo. So Sumo is something, again, if you have a blog, this is really helpful because it allows you to use a free service when you're starting out, especially, that lets you get more social media shares, make things convenient for your readers to share on their favorite social media platform. It also makes it easy for them to opt into your email list and things like that. Now, they also have paid versions as well. Depends on what you need. The thing about the free version is it will have their logo on it, so it doesn't take away that watermark if you use the free version. But for an example, here's a pretty big blog that makes, well over 7 figures probably per year, called Making Sense of Sense. It's like a finance blog. Now, if you look at the top bar here and you kind of look at the top left corner, you see that Sumo crown. So you can tell that they are using Sumo to collect emails with this, what we call a hello bar at the top of this website. So you just enter your email, click I want in, and then you subscribe to her email list, and you can get notifications of her latest blog post. But she's using the free version of Sumo Me or BuzzSumo or whatever version of Sumo she's using. There's a lot of different tools under the Sumo brand. But what you can do is just use the free version. It will have the branding of Sumo on there unless you get the paid version, but you can still start collecting emails and getting more social shares. And then you can use what is like a share bar here. It'll be the same type of thing, but one of these tiles here will have a crown on it, and that's the difference. That's the main difference between like the free and the paid version. And then you get more analytics and stuff like that as well. But those are some of the best free tools you can use for marketing that I've found so far that I've actually used. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.